Welcome to another MiniGrinder Paints Live. I'm your host, the great El Numo. Uh, Noom was a handle of a video game. That's where that came from. And I had an obsession with organ grinders. So that's why my name is MiniGrinder. That's why I go by that anyways. Like if I were to open up a pizza shop, it would be Pizza Grinder. If I were to, I don't know, open up a fishery, it might be Fish Grinder. That doesn't really sound very appetizing. But so today is going to be a busy day, most likely. Luckily, the miniatures that I want to paint today, I don't think are going to take too long. Uh, there is a certain technique that I will be sharing. I've been actually experimenting with this guy. Second here. So this is the Nightspectre by Reaper, and I haven't actually started this side. I've been cheating. I've been using this side as kind of a test base. Let's see what's going on. So like, I wanted to get a nice green um, color right here, but I don't want it to be like stereotypical green, like Slimer green or whatever. So I dry brushed on a bit of forest green, and then lightened it up with some white, and then brush that on. When you add white to forest green, it gets like a teal color, and then like a real deep teal color. And then I washed on this. This is leaf green, and it for some reason mine is quite moist. So I basically just um, washed that on the top over the forest green, and that sort of brought that stereotypical green back into it. But it creates a nice color gradient that I'm going to go for and highlight. So now the other thing is the skeletons. I tried painting behind them with white and then dry brushing black over it. It did not work that well, so I went ahead and painted black over everything again. And then I went back and I actually did a whitewash. The effect that I want to go for is that there's the bones of the skeleton are kind of a silhouette. Um, so the trick is going to be mixing these colors into. I want the brightest area to basically be where the skeletons are. And I know it looks very dark down there right now, but that's only because I washed. After I did the whitewash, I went back and dry brushed black over that whitewash. And it was a few, um, a few passes of that, and we got to this level. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that on the back side, actually, what I did there, because that whitewash, it needs to dry a good amount of time. I want to make sure I'm not going to bump the camera with my arm too much here. Got my this episode is brought to you by Polar Pop. Polar Pop in a Froster cup. It's a Polar Pop in a Froster cup. Insanity. So I had some white left over here. I was wondering if I could just revitalize it. What I did was just add a drop of water um, from my wash cup to some white here. Now, most likely this is going to be too moist, so I'm going to add a little bit more. It takes a lot of practice getting that, you know, that right amount of paint per water. A nice good wash that doesn't actually, you know, take over the model. We'll do some test watches. If it doesn't bleed, it's not. See how it doesn't bleed? It's not wet enough right now. So go ahead and it's got to bleed. Okay, this is now definitely wet enough. Now this will bleed. Yeah, good. So we just basically want to fill in all the nooks and crannies here with this white, and this will get that glowing effect then. Problem is with this method, you got to wait for that white to dry then. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. Actually looking really good on the backside. So for my campaign, I'm actually going to I'm going to create something called a shadow elemental or something like that. Which is just basically, and then I would suspect that that's what this would look like. You know, an undead elemental, basically. Because it's kind of what it reminds me of. That's what it looks like. That's called a Nightspectre, but I don't know if that's in Pathfinder 3.5 or D&D or whatever. I know specters are. I've done a lot of research on like uh, where we get the name, where specters come from, like what is the etymology of that? What's the history behind that? The word specter. Actually, specter, ghost, spook. What they end up being wraith. Wraith is just another ghost. Turns out it's a Scottish. I believe it's Scottish in origin. I just go to Wikipedia and all that stuff. So you can see we're like electrifying these. That's what it looks like. Was like electrified skeletons there, kind of. We're just gonna start out with this whitewash here. Actually, and I need a little bit more. Because around then we're going to do kind of a primer with the white in all the nooks and crannies on here. Now I don't know if this is going to actually work or not, this method, if this is going to pan out or this is going to be a waste of time and I'm going to have to start over and get rid of this video and hunt down anybody who watched it. Luckily I don't have a great large viewership, so that shouldn't be a problem. Also, that was a total joke in case somebody who's watching this dies and then they suspect me. If somebody watches this dies, I'm really sorry for your loss. uh, it's dangerous watching paint dry. You don't know what's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is just anywhere around the skeletons, I'm going to blast with some white. All my nooks and crannies. You know me and my nooks and crannies. That's how I go. That's how I roll. Don't judge me. I know it looks kind of crazy right now, but when I hit it with that dark wash, you'll see. You'll see. This is just to make it not look. I like to basically, when you leave it like this, I pretty much have everything I need. Go back in and add more whitewash, but I don't. I mean, I just don't want to go that route actually. Um, and I don't like leaving any black space right there. I like the dry brushing. Uh, I would like that to look consistent with that area. You know, let's see the trouble with this piece really. They're doing it in this method, in this fashion, is so up here you have nooks and crannies, which are going to end up being dark, and then down here the nooks and crannies are white. So we have that transitional situation going on that's going to cause us the problems. Well, me, it's going to cause me the problems. You guys, I guess you probably don't even give her crap about my problems, which is okay. I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't give a crap about your problems. Everybody got problems. So, yeah, I thought maybe like a kind of a shadow elemental or something like that. That this would end up being. So I gotta let this dry, actually, because it's very wet, and you cannot dry brush that while it's wet like that. So go back over here. I don't believe that this will end up taking a whole long time. So I mean, this is the effect that I want to get, essentially, is that electrified sort of effect. I want the skeletons, the silhouette of the skeletons to stand out. And a lot of the flame stuff is actually going to be painted, like right now, even. So I'm pulling out some forest green right now. Forest. The forest green is actually, like, when you put it down, it looks like a greenish blue, but when you add paint white to it, it turns out to be bluish green, in my opinion. And if you don't hit it with the leaf green after that, it's going to, I mean, it's a perfect color to use for like water elementals. And actually, when the Reaper releases the water elemental as a bones, I will be uh, painting that in a heartbeat. I cannot wait to paint that, actually. And you check on your finger to see how wet your brush is. This is nice and soft. Okay. So this is just the forest green. I haven't lightened it up or anything. Which I actually need to be dry brushing this. Unlike the idiot that I am right now. Which means that I'm going to need a clean dry brush. Again, I apologize for if I am not within the scene. I try to do that, but it's hard to paint a miniature and look at a screen all at the same time. I'm just cleaning my brush right now. So in the system that we use, hit points are based off of con, and I was thinking about, well, undead usually don't have a whole bunch of con, right? So I was thinking about basing undead hit points off of their willpower, which I hear that's how they do it in Pathfinder and that. I mean, I played a little bit of Pathfinder. I actually played a whole year of Pathfinder. I never looked at a monster manual. I never, you know what I mean? I'm just sort of playing it with some friends. So I didn't really get deep into it. I've been basically doing Pinwheels and now, which is now basically Valentia, over the last like 10 years. That's the only stuff that I like to. I just, it's a really good system. It doesn't feel so cookie cutter, you know. Yeah, I know you got a lot of options in Pathfinder and D&D, you know, in all the kit classes or the prestige classes and all this other stuff. But like, I don't know, it just doesn't. Like I said, it's like a cookie cutter to me that you get to add like icing details on. You know, I like being able to make my own kinds of characters. So yeah, so in the Valentia RPG system, hit points are based off of your con, like what your con attribute is. And so I figured, we could just make it willpower for undead. And then the stronger the undead are, the higher their willpower, which totally makes sense. Also, so skeletons and stuff like that would have a relatively low willpower of maybe 6 or something like that. Their willpower is extremely low. Uh, and then stuff like, a specter, like this thing, would have like I don't know, maybe like a 16 willpower or something like that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just all the fire bits that I dry brushed with black that go all these fire bits. I'm basically dry brushing now with my forest green color. The reason is because, like I said, this area is going to be the brightest, and I need this color to shine through. And when I dry brush this with more white on top of it, it it will shine through. You know, this forest green is just an amazing color, actually, for the dynamic color is what it really is. I don't really care if a little bit of it gets on the skeletons. Um, it sort of adds to that, like, that glow, you know, that silhouetted color. I mean, they're not going to be totally silhouetted. That's actually a really good idea. I'm okay with that. I did want them to be darker, but and they are actually they are like that. Drop some more forest green. Everybody who's been watching me over the last few days, thank you. Thank you for watching me. It's, I like painting. And that's all I got to say about that. I think it'll be interesting to use willpower. I don't know if that's what we. There's some other things too that we have to sort of figure out with how undead work. And Ron's the head designer. Ron, he pretty much the creator of the system. He he has some notes written up that I have to steal from him somehow, so I can utilize those notes. The creatures that I do for the live stream aren't like official at all. Last week had them go up against a troll, and it's like, let's fix this focusing issue again. Again, yet another problem. At some point in time, you'll get some professional stuff here. Let's see here. One moment. Right there. Come on. Come on. Hey, there we are. That's probably pretty good, huh? Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of white to that, actually, right next to it. I'm actually going to use mostly white with this next bit, because I want this to be, watch this right here. See this? This is green, this is blue, this is white. It's like the perfect sea green color, you know. I do want this to be rather white, actually, like that. Like I said, I want this to be the lightest area. There we go. Again, I don't really care if I hit the skeletons. I can always go back and clean them up. I most likely won't end up doing that. I'll definitely have to do that. The other thing I'm going to do is do another whitewash. Definitely need to do that. Some more white down there. Okay. So what I'm most likely going to do there sort of finish this out here. I won't be putting this one on the market um, for a while, and actually next week I will not be here. I will be in New York, in a different state. Well, so far this looks like junk. It'll look better. We just got to get that initial color on there. Get it sparked up there. We can go back in and clean it up and all that business. All that job. I think we're time for another wash here. Another wash. No. Nice wet. The reason why I'm doing a wash here right now is because I kind of need this area to look very milky, very together. I don't want it to be splotchy with black bits and that. I want it to be a nice, clean gradient from one area to the next. So that's what will really make this area shine. If I can get it to look proper, you know. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to. hit those skeletons again. I really do. I really do have to hit those skeletons again. I'm not going to do that right now. Why? This is wet. Okay. See how this other side's doing. The other side's nice and dry now. So what? I'm going to do a nice quick dry brush on the dark. And then what I did was I followed up that process with the forest green on the other side. So that's what I'm going to do over here. I like these miniatures that make you think to get your desired results. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie. I do like making pizza. I have some I might actually start a pizza making blog as well. Every year we do New Year's a pizza party, and I make 8 pizzas, all homemade from scratch, sauce, dough, and everything. And they are tasty, 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 tasty. My brother does a pizza party, and he makes like 25 different pizzas, but they're more like flatbread. We have different style pizza making, you know. Okay, so nice. Sweet. We're at that stage. So let's just go ahead and throw down the forest green. So this side of the miniature is going to be a little bit more methodic than the other side, only because the other side was kind of a test basin. See, I really needed to develop because I don't have one, a system for doing spirit fire, that ghostly. I wanted it to be green because that's what life force is usually a green, simulated with green, or you know what I mean, represented. And I definitely wanted a green. I didn't want it to do it, but I needed to look ethereal also. That's why they want to do a straight green. And plus it's more interesting to have some kind of color gradient, no matter how minute. So I'm just laying down this forest green right now. This is still a little wet down here. That's okay. Quite all right. Not a big deal. We're only painting the top layers when we do this. Occasionally, if it catches a little bit of the inner layer, I don't care because it's most likely going to mix a little bit and create, again, that gradient that I'm looking for. You don't want it to look splotchy. You want it to be smooth, transitional, easy on the eyes. Okay. Get some white on that. And I'm not worried if I'm hitting the skeletons. I'm going to go back and clean them up anyways. I don't want to, do a bunch of that, but all right. We are back. Sorry about that. I'm going to actually get ourselves a new link to post on the forums. I'm just putting that up there right now. Not that anybody was watching anyways. I was watching. That's all that matters. Okay, so while that was all going awry, reset the computer and stuff, I went ahead and brushed some white down. That was the only other thing that I did. And it just really made this whole thing awesome. The only thing that I really have to do right now with this side is I'm going to wash the leaf green on it and do the skeletons. I'm going to go ahead and do the leaf green right now because I want to. Leaf green is a nice, rich green color. Right now I'm just rinsing some of that white and forest green off my dry brushing brush. That will be dry brushing this on. So in the white areas, actually, this leaf green is going to come out a whole lot more. It's really going to be real vibrant. Just drying even the stem of my brush. This paint is dry or wet enough. I don't need any extra moisture. When you pick up the paint, it just sort of puddles around like that. So, and I'm just going to dry brush this on. This piece is all a combination of how, it's a fine example of how you use dry brushing and washing in the same sort of example, in the same piece, you know. Usually they don't mix too well, but if you do it right. The other thing is, don't get cross-eyed when you're doing this. Sometimes I notice that I'll get like almost cross-eyed, and I can't see how horrible I'm making my thing look. It's like I don't see any of the bad detailing that I'm doing, or like dry brushing. You know, you can't dry brush it and make it look like crap. It's pretty easy to do. Again, I want this area to be the brightest area where all the skeletons are. See, the color play between that leaf green and the forest green is just superb, you know. And this is looking really good on this side. Might be a little bright. Let me see if I can pull that down a bit. Write this down. We'll do this. No, that's worse. That's definitely worse. That's horrible. That's pretty good. Okay. When we get to this piece, it just got to a point where it painted itself. You know, it's almost done on this side. There's a couple other things we're gonna do, like go in there and clean up all like the tendrils, you know. And obviously we got to go on and put dry brush the black onto the skeleton so we can get that effect also. That's where we are on this side. A couple steps behind here. I need another whitewash on these skeletons. I gotta get that like that. But that whitewash is actually gonna make things. Okay, I guess we can dry brush on the black on the skeletons. while the whitewash is drying on this side. Let's go ahead and get that going. Easy enough. We just need more. That's all. Man, I really hope I don't have to deal with that camera just stopped working like that. I think I gotta go through and do a cleaning on my system. I've had this computer for a couple years now, and I haven't needed to remove any viruses or anything. It's actually been going pretty well, this computer. Uh, but I think it's time for a spring cleaning. Get some old programs out of there. I might actually just save all my stuff, back up all my stuff to Dropbox or something like that, and then clean the system, like flash the drive and give it all zeros. That's good for a hard drive occasionally, I think. I'm just pushing this color around here. Remember, kids. So while this is actually wet, I'm going to go and add a little bit more to it. It'll get a nice. Sometimes when the paint's wet and then you do a dry brush over that, it'll create. If you do it in the right way, it'll create like a really nice blended effect. Come over here with that. A little bit more white. I gotta be careful not to get too close to that leaf green. I'll start taking over the piece. Don't want to do that either. The objective here is to make those skeletons look like they're glowing. That's the objective, essentially. For me. And it's pretty much getting there. When I go in and I put the black on, if you will see. Hopefully I do have some visitors later. I'm not just talking by myself. Well, I guess I should be in. See, this is why I need people here. This way I can be like, dude, 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 dude. Nobody can see what you're doing. I need it. I need it. I can't believe nobody's taking me. I know nobody really knows me from the community yet because I'm new. And I mean, I do a lot of lurking. I don't do a lot of posting. Uh, I am out there. But that's no reason not to say hi, you know? Like, I'm not just like some dude walking across the street. Well, okay, so I'm like worse than that, actually. Like, those people you eventually get used to seeing. Okay. This is all going almost according to plan here. Now I'm highlighting, uh, and I don't want to get too crazy at the top. Unlike fire, I don't want it to, you'd suspect it to get brighter at the top or whatever. Actually, the fires and stuff, the brightest point is in the middle, right? That's where that's the hottest. The flames are actually pretty cold. I had a hard time painting the fire elemental when I painted the fire elemental. Because I couldn't establish whether I wanted it to look artificially natural or natural. By artificially natural, I mean like, white hot in the middle and on the extremities red. Usually what we do is we do red and then orange and then yellow. But you know, um, I don't know. I always feel like I'm rambling when I do this because I am rambling. And I'm not actually a really good speaker. You know, I don't consider myself to be a top-notch speaker. There's people out there that'll definitely do this better than me. Uh, it won't be me, though. They'll sound fake. Because that's what happens when you want to sound like what, commentator is. You either sound like you're rambling or you sound fake. Look at this. We're going to hit that on the other side, too. What that leaf green got in there? Really open it up. Just gotta. Alright, I need some white. Just for the sake of white. Is what I need. So once I get this down, this. I didn't expect it to take me this long. Actually, I expected to be able to do this in about 30 minutes. It's been over an hour. So once I get this down, the spirit, I'll be painting the spirit probably next. It'll actually be done. This one will be very quick. It'll be done very much in the same light as this. And now it's all dark. You can't see. Um, there we go. So it'll be done very similar. How this is being done. Um, I want him to be glowing. I want him to have that um, life force glow to them, basically. Okay, I got my white. Let's go destroy a piece. There we go. You don't try, you don't know. You don't know if it's going to work or not, so you gotta try everything. And I think this is, my plan for this piece is actually working out pretty well, which I'm pretty excited about, actually. This is kind of a big piece. So obviously, this thing should have like some kind of fear aura, but that's way too bright. Yeah, maybe it's not. They're gonna drain con or something like that. There's no levels in Valentia, so they'll have to drain something. They can't drain character points because that's, you know, people just take character points out of stuff that they don't use really. We have drain con, and the question is how permanent. I think if it should be like a willpower check, and then they'll use the con. So they have to like battle the will of the creature, the willpower of the creature. I don't know. Alright, then. So what I'm gonna do is just use some forest green to kind of work this in here. Again, we want that color gradient. So anywhere where you think that it does not look smooth and flowing, go back, you hit it again. You check your blood sugar, you check it often. My wife, she's diabetic. That old guy that does that commercial will be dead by the time. I don't know. She's old. I don't even know if she knows who that guy is. Oh, ominous. We're getting there, actually, there. Gee, we're getting there, then. Yeah. I drove through Fargo this year, actually. Some of you might even be from Fargo. We get a whole bunch of. If we lose feed and I don't come back for a while, it's because there's a thunderstorm. I wasn't lying about it. Okay, so. Okay. Let's go and pick up some of that green. I want to start up some more campaigns, and I need more players. I have a couple campaign ideas that I want to produce as a live stream campaign. My one is the one that I want to do, and we actually did for a while, but it was our in-between game. It's what we played when we didn't have everybody there, basically. That way, nobody had to miss anything in the main campaign. But it was basically kind of like um, X-Files in the 1850s. Basically, I guess that's how I would talk those guys into playing it. So I said that it was an X-Files in the 18. There's like aliens, but the aliens are mind flayers, which is totally awesome to see mind flayers. And there's like guns, and you know, guns are deadly, 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 deadly. With the rules that I made up for them using Valentia, and so deadly. You pretty much wanted to stay in cover until you had that sweet moment when you could act. Okay. There we go. We're getting there. Let's, I actually don't think that I want to dry brush these skeletons in. I guess I could use I'm going to use my old fine detail brush to finely dry brush in the skeletons. That's what I'm going to do. You're going to have to excuse me if I go quiet. I'm sure some of you guys just can't wait, actually. This guy just doesn't shut up. Going pretty good. The black is extremely dry right now. Okay, let's get some more black down. What I'll do is use this, my old detailing brush, to dry brush the skeletons in, and then I'll probably go back with a fine brush and clean it up. You gotta be careful here. This brush is loaded. There we go. It's starting to relax. Yeah, it's probably, I might actually whitewash this again, even. But then I'm gonna have to put the black on it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's some strategic, some surgical whitewashing that I can do. Surely there is. Sure. This one's a hard one because you just don't. I don't see where he begins and where he ends. Now you really need a finer detail brush. Okay. Okay. Busting around. Loaded it up. Getting more paint. It's all about right now just, oh, I love this. When you get the bubbles like this, it's the easiest way to put paint on the right amount of paint on your brush. Poke that bubble with it. we go. What else are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like I'm stuck here. I've stuck myself here now. What what I'm paying for right now is not being able to listen to music. That's what I'm really paying for. Okay. Those are Three Stooges are done on that side. Oh yeah. Okay. And there's an arm right here. And see before. That's okay. Get it from that side too. Ah! Of course. Unbelievable. I'm just picking that paint up with another brush. It's okay. If you're fast enough, you can grab it. You can see why some people cork their minis. I'm too lazy for all that. You know, when a miniature takes you a week to paint, yeah, cork your minis. But it doesn't take me that long to paint these. So guess what? I'm not going to cork my damn minis. All right, so stop asking me. I don't know where all that animosity against corking came from. I guess it makes me feel like inferior to other painters or something. You know? Oh, they cork my minis. Ain't nothing wrong with corking. I'm just like I said. You talk for hours on end about nothing. Nothing. I say nothing. Okay, so almost getting that desired effect. Let's try to surgically do some whitewashing here. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to basically clean this area and accent anything that I want to accent. Well, I'm going to have to do that here again. Awesome. That was about to happen. Okay. Okay, it's getting there. Basically hitting with some leaf green on some of these highlights. That's too much green there, isn't it? I'm going to continue with that process. Continue with that thought process. Let's see what we can do. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get out of a mistake. Mistakes like that. But I just like my mistakes to be slightly consistent, so that's why I'm continuing on with the mistake, basically. It looks like I probably will not. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't have that color that I want. So we're going to improvise. Walnuts and forest green. We're actually going to dry brush that out, which is a lot faster. Let me just get that forest green on my brush. And while that was nice, romp around, I'm not going to keep it like that. Let's read for the white. Create something to highlight with, and highlighted. Okay. Point in time, you have to ask the question, how crappy does it look? It can look a whole lot crappier if I keep on poking it randomly with black. You know what I mean? Okay, I think it's looking pretty good. How's this side looking? Not as good. You have to put some more white down. Okay. Again, let's just be careful with that leaf green before. This is getting there. It's not quite there. Okay. There we go. Some of that whitewash is not going the way I was hoping. There we go. Alright. So that's about finished there. Aside from some minor detailing. There we are. Let's go ahead and put this down, put this black down. I think for the basing of all the undead stuff, I'm probably going to use some kind of ash or something like that. So for the bottom, all I really need is black and maybe white to gray up the area, you know. Throw down some paint. At least that's the plan. I don't think I'm going to do anything super spectacular for their basing. Is just some ash, you know. Right now I'm just kind of previewing what that might look like. No. There we go. All right, next up is the. There she blows. It really turned out pretty well right there, I think. All right. Next up, in my next video, I will be painting this guy. It's a Spirit by Reaper, and it's also Bones. By the way, these obviously my standard using a washer and putty, uh, washer and putty basing job. I like circle bases. I do not like square bases. Actually, I got not a ton, but I got a handful of square bases that I probably will never, ever, 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 ever use. I like round bases. Anywho, join me on my next video, which might be in like 10 minutes. Until then, bye.